Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day today, because today we're going back to a classic video format that if you're a long-time viewer of this channel, you're definitely familiar with, and that is one where I just respond to a bad YouTube video. So I actually discovered this video because some people I have added on Discord that watch my channel actually messaged me and told me I should make a response to it, so, you know, I thought why not? Now, the video is called Debunking Nintendo Switch 2 Hate Grifters, and if you take a look at the like to dislike ratio on this video, it's not looking too good, I gotta be honest. And you know when you see a like to dislike ratio like this that you're in for some quality content. But let me just give you a little preview of what we're going to get into.
Realize that you are the small minority. Mario Kart World has sold incredible so far, because most people don't give a shit about it. Just like most people don't give a shit about the digital games or the MIG switches bricking consoles, because these are things that people don't actually deal with. And I know the $80 warriors are salty that $80 games are still selling fine, and their broke asses can sit there and continue to bitch and moan and act like new video games aren't even worth $50.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
Yeah, that's what we have in store for us today. But I really don't want to waste any more time on the intro. Let's just go ahead and get into the, I guess, debunking of Switch 2 Hate Grifters.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are still people in the gaming space, whether it be for monetary gains or because they think they're fighting for some cause to save the video game industry, that have a disease that I like to call Nintendo Switch 2 derangement syndrome.
Where have I heard a very similar thing before? Oh yeah, a Nintengod tweet. Breaking! Hashtag Nintendo Switch 2 haters have been officially diagnosed. The cause of their extreme delusions and denial of Switch 2 power, of being on par with the PS5, has been revealed. Reading that made every single brain cell ooze out of my ears. But to address your actual argument, yes, there are people in the gaming space right now that have made multiple videos profiting off of Switch 2 hate, and then they used that exact same money to go and buy a Switch 2. Yes, those people are grifters. But the word grifter has kind of lost all meaning in recent times due to very, very low IQ individuals using the word incorrectly. A lot of people nowadays will label you a grifter if you simply give a take they don't like. So I feel like in the video you should have differentiated between what people are grifters and what people aren't, because simply giving your takes on the Switch 2 or making fun of Switch 2 fanboys that are low IQ isn't really grifting, whereas talking shit about the Switch 2 so you can take that money and go buy a Switch 2 is, because it proves you don't truly believe what you've been saying. Anyway, continue.
And this syndrome revolves around 3 talking points that are constantly spammed in any comment section saying anything about the Nintendo Switch 2, even if it's just an okay thing. Like, I made a review on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I said it's a great product, and it has flaws. It's not perfect. There's positives and negatives to it.
I mean, I already know what these 3 talking points are. They are the game key cards, the $80 games, and the fact that you don't actually own your games. And the reason you're seeing a lot of people bring this up is because, first of all, you didn't even address it in the video, and second of all, people generally do not like these practices. It's not only YouTube where I see these talking points. I saw the Switch 2 on Instagram, somebody like showing it off, and the comments were saying these 3 talking points.
Like every product, but my comment section for some people was spammed with the same 3 tiring talking points that these people constantly talk about, so I'm going to debunk all 3 of them.
Now here's another issue with the video. He says he's debunking some talking points, but he only really gives opinions on these talking points and why he's okay with it, I guess. That's different than debunking, because debunking, you're basically proving something wrong, or proving someone wrong, not just giving your opinion on something.
In this video, the #1 complaint I hear is you don't own your games. That's the #1 fucking comment. The game key cards, digital games bad, all this stuff, and it's all bullshit.
Wrong, moron!
How is it bullshit that some people think the idea of digital games are bad? And how is it bullshit to point out that you don't actually own your games? The truth is, you don't own your games on basically every platform at this point. The reason people are so upset when it comes to Nintendo specifically is because Nintendo, for a lot of people, was seen as the last bastion of physical media, and now we can even see Nintendo going for a more digital future. Also, something I never see get brought up when it comes to the digital game keycards is the fact that you gotta wait for downloads, and some people have really bad internet. When games are physical and they're on the cartridge, you don't have to worry about that. You can just pop the cartridge in and play. And I gotta be honest, as someone who used to have absolute dog shit internet, that shit ran like it was stationed in a straw hut in the Mojave Desert, it's nice to just put in a game and play.
Number 1. All of the Nintendo first-party games are fully on the cartridge. I know it's a crazy thing to think about, the Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, the upcoming Nintendo games, the Zelda re-releases, they're all fully on the cartridge.
Yeah, this is true. Everything that is first party, I'm assuming up until the end of the console's life cycle, will be on the cartridge. The problem is tons of third-party publishers could easily fit a game on a cartridge like that. What was that game that was like 11 gigs? Oh yeah, the Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD remaster. Dude, it's 11 gigs. Is there any reason you couldn't have put this on a cartridge? Oh wait, let's be honest, they just wanted to be cheap.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
And not to mention, the fear-mongering around digital games is driving me insane. People want to act like there's this great precedent of digital games being taken from you, when that is not the case at all.
But I mean, we've seen in the case of The Crew that these companies can in fact reach into your library and pluck a game out if they so choose to. Now, will Nintendo do that? More than likely not. But there's always a small chance that it could happen in the future.
I still have access to every single digital title I've purchased from the start of digital titles being sold on consoles. I still have access to my Wii library, digital library. I have access to my Wii U digital library. I have access to my Xbox 360 and PS3 digital games that I purchased. I still have access to games I bought on Steam from years ago, like Star Wars Battlefront 2 Classic.
Now, if you already have the games on the Wii, that's great, you can still play them, but the problem with this sort of system is, when a game is digital only, once the storefront is shut down, you cannot get the game anymore. At least with physical media, you can buy a second-hand copy off of the internet. Personally, I think making games unobtainable forever isn't a good idea and isn't something we should be practicing.
I have the same access to all of my digital games as the Wall of Virginity people do. Like this photo right here. He has his whole fucking PS3 library. I have all of my PS3 library. The only difference is mine isn't collecting dust on a shelf, and the funny thing is, I'll probably have access to my digital library longer than he does his physical games once they start rotting away on his shelf.
Yeah, but he can actually sell his games that he doesn't want to use anymore and get some money back from them, whereas you can't.
Digital games are being embraced, and these people that are acting like your digital library is just gonna fucking vanish like Thanos snap one day. It has not happened.
I mean, all it takes in all reality is your account getting hacked on one of these platforms and someone can just take all your games. Personally, I don't like the idea that at any moment somebody could just hack my account and have all my shit I purchased for the past 8 years, or even longer in the case of backwards compatible consoles. In all honesty, I think that's honestly what's more scary than a company taking away your games, because it's more likely to happen.
Number 2, the MIG switch and bricking of Switch 2s. I swear to God, the amount of times I hear that Nintendo can just brick your console, oh my god. That doesn't happen.
Wrong, moron!
I mean, there was a huge drama a few days ago where Nintendo bricked somebody's Switch 2 because they used a game that they bought secondhand that they didn't know was modified. It's in the user agreement for a reason, and well, we can see that it has negative consequences even for people that are not really trying to do anything wrong. So not only do you not really own your games, but you don't really own your console either, because they can just straight up brick the fucking thing at any time they want to. And I don't know what sort of mindless golem would be okay with this being in some sort of user agreement.
99% of people that just use their Switch 2 the right way you're not going to get your fucking system bricked.
I mean, in all honesty, that number should be 100%. I guarantee you this system is going to hurt more people than it's actually going to punish that are doing something incorrectly. And I also guarantee you that trolls are going to realize that they can give people modified games and cause their Switch to get bricked.
People that are using MIG switches that want to pretend like everyone is legally dumping their ISO files and ROMs from the games they purchased physically, and then they're getting bricked. Dude, stop lying to yourselves. 99% of people that are using MIG switches have illegally obtained their ISO files. They're not dumping their own physical copies of games you own. But again, no one wants to look in the mirror and blame themselves for the current situation they're in. If you didn't illegally download games from the start, you wouldn't be in this situation where these safeguards would have to be in place.
Yeah, but here's the thing, even if you do go about using the MIG switch the legal way, you are going to be punished the same way as someone who is not using it the legal way. So in that sort of situation where I didn't do anything illegal and I got my Switch 2 bricked, I wouldn't be pissed off at the people doing it illegally. I'd be pissed off at the people punishing me, despite the fact that I didn't really do anything illegal. It's my console. If I want to redump the games that I paid my money for, I should have every fucking right to do so.
Just like with the stores. When someone starts mass robbing the stores, everyone kind of gets punished because shit gets locked behind the glass walls and it makes it inconvenient for everyone else. But in this case, most people don't use MIG switches, so it doesn't affect like 90% of people who own Switch 2s. And if you are someone who uses a MIG switch and legally backs up their game files on it and you're getting screwed over, you should be pissed off at the people who are doing it the wrong way.
You should be pissed at the people that constantly spam the "it's always morally right to steal Nintendo games."
I mean, obviously a lot of those people are just trying to be funny. Every single time a game is announced to go to like the Epic Games store, or a company announces a practice that people don't like, online only, whatever, the comment section is filled with a bunch of piracy memes. The Great Pirate Era has begun, shit like that. How many of those people do you think actually pirate the game? It's just a meme. Although you do have a point when it comes to people who show off their pirated games and say, I pirated this, basically.
No, it's not. Like, if you want to download GameCube games and stuff, whatever, they're not actively selling those. But for the people that constantly champion theft and stealing brand new games, it's a fucking embarrassment. And if you're someone who actually, legally, backs up your ISO files to your MIG switch, you can make it easier on yourself. Maybe just have one cartridge instead of like fucking 5 of them. You should be upset at the people doing it illegally and running around championing it. Like, oh, it's right to do it, acting like they're fucking Robin Hood or something.
So I should get mad at people on the internet who are acting dumb instead of getting mad at the company that punished me for doing literally nothing incorrectly? This doesn't make much sense. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's retarded to act like you're the savior of gaming because you downloaded a fucking Switch game off of some ROM website. I don't think anyone's gonna deny that. But at the same time, that doesn't really have anything to do with me trying to use a MIG switch so I can have 5 games on one cartridge, or me trying to redump a game from a cartridge so I can play it on my PC with a higher resolution, frame rate, texture packs, and mods.
So number 3, $80 video games. I swear to God, there is not a debate that is more tiresome at this point than people still bitching about $80 games.
You know, this is really giving me flashbacks to a guy called eRockX in 2021. You know, that guy who told everyone to stop complaining when they increased the price of Xbox Live and everybody on the internet started getting mad at Microsoft.
If I couldn't afford gaming, I would get the fuck out, right? It's not up to these companies to make this expensive ass hobby affordable for y'all.
By the way, whatever happened to eRockX? I kinda miss laughing at his low IQ takes.
If you don't like the price of the game and don't think it's worth it, just don't fucking buy it, dude.
Yeah, but here's the thing, there's a lot of people out there that straight up can't afford the game but really want to play it. Not everyone has the luxury of going down to Walmart, especially here in Canada, and buying a game that after tax comes out to $130 something for one little flimsy fucking game. Another thing that I should mention is games for 15 years were priced at $60. Then they were priced at $70 for 2 years, and after only 2 years of games being $70, we're already seeing $80 games. It might only be 1 year before we see $90 games. At what point do we draw a line in the sand and say we're not buying your shit?
It's really not that hard. You don't have to sit there and throw a temper tantrum about it. You're not changing the fucking world. It's just fucking video games, man. Like for me, Mario Kart World was worth $80, so I bought it. The Outer Worlds 2 does not look like it's worth $80 for me, so I'm just not going to buy it.
But why is The Outer Worlds $80? Could it possibly be because Microsoft saw Nintendo get away with $80 games, and then they realized they can try the exact same thing? Like, if you want to buy Mario Kart World, obviously I can't bust through your fucking wall like the Kool-Aid Man and stop you, but don't get online and defend the practice of $80 games.
I'm not going to throw a temper tantrum about it. I'm not going to cry, bitch, and moan. I'm just going to not play it. It's really that simple.
I mean, I didn't buy Mario Kart World, but I'm sure as hell gonna speak about $80 games because it's something that will impact the rest of the industry.
Also, the Nintendo games aren't even all $80 like people are acting like they are.
Yeah, they're not all $80 yet, but the precedent is already laid, and I guarantee you in a couple of years, every single Nintendo game is going to be $80. Just to rub more salt in the wound, there's barely any sales for their games either.
Just don't buy the game if you don't want it for $80, just wait for a fucking sale.
Yeah, but here's the problem. There barely are any sales for Nintendo games, and we already know what could happen if you go ahead and decide to buy a second-hand game off of something like eBay.
The real thing is there's still morons out there that are sitting there saying games aren't even worth $50 or $40. They just want shit for free.
Yeah, not really, because if people just wanted games for free, they wouldn't care about the price because they would just pirate it anyway. Games could be $300, it wouldn't matter to them. People who complain about the price are obviously people who were interested in buying the game instead of getting it for free via piracy.
Mario Kart World has sold incredible.
Just because something sells really well doesn't mean it's high quality. I mean, look at fucking McDonald's.
Incredible so far. Because most people don't give a shit about it. Just like most people don't give a shit about the digital games, or the MIG switches bricking consoles.
Ah, that explains it.
Don't actually deal with. This is just your small minority of people that are less than 1%.
I mean, where is he getting this information that it's less than 1% of people that care about these things? Unless, of course...
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
I know kills the most physical copies people in my digital library. It's going to last longer than physical games once they start away. I know stuff that Switch people can't look and realize they're stealing games, and it's really over people actually dealing up their ROM views.
And I know the $80 warriors are salty that $80 games are still selling fine, and their broke asses can sit there and continue to bitch and moan and act like new video games aren't even worth $50.
If I couldn't afford gaming, I would get the fuck out, right? It's not up to these companies to make this expensive ass hobby affordable for y'all.
So that pretty much does it for today's video. What are the 3 big arguments he made? Well, he claims that digital games and digital game key cards are nothing to worry about because, you know, they will never take our games away from us. Which, while so far is true for Nintendo, we do see situations like The Crew where they straight up take the game away from you, and that does set a very dangerous precedent. Also, all the other things that I mentioned about digital games, and it doesn't change the fact that when you make a digital-only game, and then you shut down the storefront, the game is unobtainable forever. The second point he makes is that the bricking of the Switch 2s really isn't a big deal. And while true for most people, we do see situations where people have their Switch 2s bricked when all they tried to do is save money by buying a second-hand game. Also, if you simply try to redump your games, you can still get banned from Switch 2, even though you didn't really do anything wrong and you just tried to play your game on another platform. And the final point that he makes is he's sick of people complaining about $80 games. Obviously, like I mentioned, games were $60 for 15 years, they were $70 for 2 years, and now we're already at $80, you know, things are climbing a little too quick. But that's gonna do it for today's video. I really don't have anything else to add, so yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up here. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you don't like the video, leave a dislike. I'm out.